We're back.
Okay. You already know. Listen, guys, good and bad news. The good news is we're not going anywhere. The bad news is we are going somewhere on Thursdays. Listen, we've had so much success with this podcast. We have to dedicate Thursdays to going on in-person tours, meetups, shareholder board meetings. But listen, don't get down and out about it. Chris and I were just talking about group projects and how you meet different dichotomies of people. I have no idea if I use that word correctly, but sometimes you just have to send it and keep going. Okay? Because if you don't do that, then you're just going to talk like a 12-year-old your whole life. So that's me sending that. So I learned almost, I'd say 98% of what I act on now from bad group projects in college. Chris, you were talking about it. Randomly assigned group projects, all the names go up on the board. You have to like search these people up on Schoology or Canvas, look around the class. One of them is never there. There's always one group member who's not there and probably won't be there for any of the time. And then, you get jocks, nerds, everything in between. And so this is where I learned my first power move, and it took me maybe 2 or 3 group projects to come up with this. The second that the group is assigned, I am creating the Google Doc, copying and pasting whatever we need to do, and highlighting my name on the easiest part. And this way, you've already established yourself as the alpha of the group. If you own the Google Doc, you own the group, essentially. And because you create the Google Doc, the infrastructure, you can claim whatever part of this process you want. And then you tell everyone, hey, write your name down to the other shit. All that bullshit, that horrible stuff. You guys write your name, what you want to do. One person's not going to do it. That is the downfall of being the group leader, is that you ultimately have to pick up the slack. But that's how corporate life works too. You can actually do a lot less work if you just do the first and like biggest high level work.
Yeah, I agree. Somebody's got to wrangle, somebody's got to organize, and then you have the people that are actually going to execute. And so if you basically in college, what you're saying is you just assigned your own title as like VP of product. And then you're like, everybody, I don't know, I kind of have the vision here, and everybody else is just going to go heads down, typing, coding, whatever it is, get this thing over the finish line.
Right. And just, man, I hated group projects. There were always just some people who would do terrible work, and then they'd be like, you try to tell them that everything they did was terrible, but you don't really say that. You're like, all right, maybe we should like take another look at these slides like before we go. And then they don't say anything. They're like, oh yeah, I think mine should be good. And they know that they did a BS job too. They know that someone's going to come clean up after them.
Yeah,
man, my cortisol.
I don't think you probably were never like at a really big company long enough. And luckily I've only ever worked at one where it felt like a really big company, which was Indeed. But like, this is just like, I think like college group projects are just what most people do for work at big tech companies, at least.
Right.
And I'm sure actually just big companies, like my friends that are consultants or in big accounting firms, it's all the same stuff. But like at Indeed, we would have group projects, which is basically like shipping products out the door to millions of people. And at the end, the only way that the like CEO and like my boss, the chief product officer, would have any visibility into like what everybody was doing was we would basically all just like rank each other.
Really?
And so yeah, like you would have like it's all like it's basically like peer reviews. So I, as a manager, like my first month, I think I came into Indeed, had like 15 or 18 people reporting to me. So I had to like write reviews on those 15 or 18 people that would then decide how much bonus they would get. But then in order for me to even know, like with 15 or 18 direct reports, like they would all have to rank each other to be like, oh, like Alex was super helpful and like Sarah was like the best and like Dan didn't do his job. I actually just called out 3 random people from my team, and that's basically how everybody felt about them. So shout out to those folks. But the craziest thing would be there was a rubric, and this just exists, I think, within all big companies. There's a rubric of like, you get a 0 to 5 on like 3 or 5 dimensions. And so we had 5 dimensions. one of the dimensions was like inter-team collaboration, right?
Likability.
Yeah, so it was basically like you had to go get, I think it was 2 or 3 other people of your similar like seniority to basically be like, oh, Chris was the best at like collaborating with my team. The thing is, we came in from an acquisition, and so like we weren't really working with any other teams. And so that first 6 months was the best visibility into like corporate bullshit life I've ever gotten, which is we like had all these goals when we were acquired. We far exceeded all of them. And then the product went like 0 to like tens of millions of users in the first 6 months. I think we netted like driving an extra like 20 or 30 million dollars in revenue. But my performance review, I got like a 3.5 out of 5 because all the people that worked for me were like, yeah, Chris seems like a reasonable boss. All the people that I was working with on the team were like, yeah, Chris is like getting shit done. But I like didn't have anybody, like the other teams, like we've never heard of this guy. So then and what was funny about that is like that was the main 6-month period where I worked really hard and I got a 3.5. And then what I realized was I had to take other like VPs out to the yard house and buy them some beers. And I would just write them 5 stars on collaboration and they would just write me 5 stars on collaboration.
Right.
And then moving forward, I basically had to do no work, but we would always get like 5 out of 5 and you'd get like a really big bonus. And that's the way that corporate America works.
Right. Well, that's funny because I was going to joke about like how in school you would get the performance reviews and I couldn't wait. Oh, I was such a snake. We're all giving each other's 5s, right? Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Person didn't do shit.
Two at best.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you go wine and dine people. I never got wined and dined by it's like when the waiter just plops down your food, doesn't do any work, doesn't care, but then right as they're about to hand you the toast POS, when the tip's coming up, they go, what else are you doing today? And you go, I know what the fuck you're doing. Bullshit. Yeah. Or they give it to you and then they stare down, like trying to get a glimpse of what you're going to click, which is why one of my new inventions, currently going through multiple review processes, finding the right manufacturer, is kind of like a hidden finger or a stylus that you attach to your palm so that anytime you're asked to tip, it looks like you're going to click the highest number, but there's actually a mini stylus here that clicks no tip.
That's
so you get the best of both worlds.
So you get like or it's like do I have like a chapstick at my desk? All right. So you have like this, but this is like invisible and you have the tip screen and it looks like, and you just, you boop, boop.
Exactly. No tip perfectly every time.
That idea is worth tens of dollars. But this reminded me as our first item. This is great.
You have the optics.
Just bought my coworker a get better soon card. She isn't sick. I just think she could do better.
Damn. That's crazy.
That's amazing.
I like cards, but cards can become a card war. And I was thinking, what do people do with cards? I mean, is there like a statute of limitations for cards? Like you keep it for X number of years and then throw them away? Or do you throw them away after you read them once? Or do you have a shoebox? Or like, do you digitize them? Because I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, maybe I should get all these cards and birthday cards like digitized. But then I'm like, I'm not going to ever read these either, even if they're like on the cloud. What do you do with cards?
So there's two things. There's like the generations past. I don't know if you had anybody in your family that would do this. I really only had one. Like my grandma used to home make cards. And so she would get like either blank paper stock, or I think in a lot of cases she would actually like make her own paper from like newspaper and then like bleach it and stuff. And so you'd have like this really like thick like card stock. And then they lived in the Midwest, and she would go pick like wildflowers and then like glue them to the top of the card and then laminate the whole thing. So you had this like front laminated, and it was like, I never appreciated it growing up, but as I got a little bit older, I like kept some of those cards because they were like, you know, I was like, all right, these are going to like remind me of her someday. And I still have some of them. So like in sentimental cases like that, I think it makes sense. With my wife, I've just digitized everything pretty much. Like I take pictures of the card and then I put it in Dropbox. And to your point, I basically never look back at it. But every now and again, like it does make me feel good that like if I wanted to go back and see somewhere like our first anniversary card or like
Right.
our like the first birthday card that I ever gave to her that she gave to me, we can go look at that. But now, like 10 years into marriage, the card volume is on a rapid decline. We're both just sort of like, happy Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day. I bought you some flowers and chocolates. There's no card this year. And she goes, great,
Right.
that's fine. Now we don't have to
Nice.
take a picture of it and put it on Dropbox
Right.
or an Apple
Right.
Cloud.
Yep. That's a great system.
Oh, this, by the way, yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day. I want to address this. I want to address St. Patrick's Day because I think it's my least favorite holiday.
Really?
Yeah.
Bro.
I was thinking about it today.
I'm Irish, bro. I'm about to cancel you.
Oh. Hey,
Part
I've got this is actually Guinness today, so we're good.
Nice.
This is
Did your kids make the shoebox leprechaun trap?
Yeah, my son made a leprechaun trap at school that was made out of toothpicks and marshmallows. But then when he came home, he just had a plate of toothpicks because he ate all the marshmallows in the back of the car on the ride home. So now we don't have any trap. But yeah,
I would get taken out. So all these kids were making traps at school, and my grandpa, Midwest, would take me out with a Glock 17 extended clip, and we would walk through the woods looking for leprechauns. Never found any, but we were way better prepared if we did see one.
That's actually insane. Like you're just gonna obliterate a leprechaun.
Okay. I have a lot of good stuff here, but first of all, I want to pull this up, which is extremely based. And I don't know. So for those listening on Spotify, this guy says, here's how I get 3 hours of my day back. And someone texts him and says, hey, Casey, this is blank's manager. Can we meet on Zoom at 7 p.m. ET? He says, hi, I'm flying all day. Would text work? She says, no worries. Can we meet tomorrow or Wednesday? Could we do 3 p.m.? He said, I don't take Zoom meetings. Please text me all relevant details. Thank you. Smiley face. So what do you think? Is this valid? Is he based? Or is he doing too much?
This is great. This feels like increasingly something that I would send somebody. I actually just did a version. I think everybody needs to like lay down the law a little bit. Okay. I sometimes, to be nice, will join people's late ass Zoom meetings or Google Meets just to be a productive member of society occasionally. But there are like, I mean, I've gone like 2 weeks where this live stream is like the only time I'm getting on Zoom with anybody in like a 2-week period. Right. I'm like seeing other people, but it's like texting friends, yo, let's meet for lunch. Let's like grab a beer at this place Wednesday afternoon, doing that tomorrow with a friend. So I just think if you are a person that somebody needs something from, which we all are to a certain extent, you got to start laying down the law, and you can't be between Slack and letting people text you and letting people call you and letting people put shit on your calendar and, you know, showing up to the office for different meetings. You just got to have like a lane. For some people, it's like, look, I show up to this office every day. If you need me, come by my desk. Right. That's a good lane to be in. But then like, don't be randomly calling that person on the weekends. Don't try to add time to that person's calendar to like chat remotely. If you want to chat with that person, you drive your ass into the office and go chat with them.
Right.
I'm like a text phone call guy,
which
it does change, because I think what's interesting is like when I was running my last company, if somebody would text me out of the blue, like another founder would text me a question, I would lose my shit. Because I was like, so 5 years ago, my lane was like email and structure. Like if it's not emailed to me in my work email, and if it hits my personal, I'm gonna like forward it to my work email, and that's like my inbox of all the stuff that I need to do. And then you book time on my calendar and we will like meet over Zoom or Google Meets. But it's all changed. I gave up that lifestyle, and I'm
Yeah.
very for this guy.
No, picking a lane is very important, and starting off in that lane, even though it's gonna feel uncomfortable, it's like when you start a job, you wanna always be reachable, do this and that, always 110%. Yeah, let's go. But the thing is, if you start off at 70% and don't respond to anyone on the weekends or after 5, they're not gonna fire you. They're just gonna be like, "Oh, that's what he does. That's fine." And they will mold around you.
Yeah.
So, I totally agree. And also, one thing on St. Patty's Day is you know that you're not employed if I searched up 2 days ago, do people get St. Patrick's Day off? Like, do normal people? Because I have no clue anymore. There
Right.
are no holidays.
Yeah.
Unemployed forever.
It's great.
Yeah, so don't even think about nobody asked me for a Zoom call. Do not email me. Please text all relevant details, and I will reply with a Y or N. So make sure that it's a yes or no question.
Ooh, that's good. That's arguably like one of the narrowest lanes that you can be in while still being like somewhat employed. Like,
did you ever play Pokemon Go?
yeah.
Well, do you know that you were training a 30 billion image AI map for the parent company?
That's why I played.
Right. Yeah.
Actually, I didn't like the Pokemon stuff at all. I played Pokemon Go for the AI training.
You just wanted to train.
This is like this is the first time I've seen this. It's genius though.
Right. You're gamifying model training. So let's get some more context here, because we can't just trust whatever show this is with the lady on the
We
the
can't
lady
trust
here.
News Force. Who are we going to trust?
Okay. So this is like, honestly, makes sense with the timeline that we're in, that you take 12-year-old kids,
Right,
and you use them to help lazy people get meatball subs delivered to their door. So their AI spinout is training a new world model using images from Pokemon Go for food delivery robots. Okay, so everyone was playing Pokemon Go, Now they have all this crowdsourced data from Pikachu to pizza delivery to help Coco robots. If you live in LA, you've seen these all over.
yep.
They have all these mini carts, and they're helping them deliver food.
Wait, this go back to that article on Coco. This has to be definitively the funniest list of like first 5 cities that a company's ever launched in. Los Angeles, yep. Chicago, sure. Jersey City, it's getting weird. Miami, okay. Helsinki.
Bro, I need to go to Helsinki. Let's see. Helsinki food robots. Yep. Oh, grocery delivery. I always thought, and this is literally a $1 trillion idea, so, and you guys are welcome for saying this. Why can't we use these? Okay, let's pull up the LA ones. Why can't we use these for laundry in San Francisco or anywhere else? I had to walk to the laundromat holding 2 laundry bins on my head and make a pilgrimage like 3 blocks away. I just this thing should pull up. I want to dump my dirty laundry into it and then pull back up, fold it. Like, come on.
Honestly, why not? I mean, that's a great idea, first of all. Like legitimately, because you do see people with what are they called? Like hampers of stuff.
Bro.
Just walking down. The best is when you move to like North Beach or Nob Hill, and you're at like the steepest part of like Telegraph Hill, and you just have to like walk your ass like down and then back up with like all this folded laundry. But the people that do the I remember having a coworker like 15 years ago who lived in one of the old buildings that didn't have laundry in it. And so he would go to the laundromat, and he was like 10 or 20 years older than me, and he was like, he would pay for like the fluff and fold laundry. It was so expensive even back then. I was like, dude, you're paying like $1.80 per t-shirt that you're getting like washed and folded, and you're doing that times presumably 7 shirts, a couple pairs of pants, like all your socks. He's like, yeah, it's worth it. Just so I don't have to like walk around with laundry. They like just drop it off at his house.
Dude, I almost had to do that. I went to a laundromat to get my stuff. First of all, this is the hill that I lived on, which is 3 blocks of extreme downhill. Anyways, this is actually a good story. So when I was in San Francisco, pretty much all my clothes get stained within like 2 days of wearing them. And I don't understand how people don't have stained clothes. Like, I don't know how it's grease or like spaghetti sauce, or I don't know how this stuff happens. But anyways, there was one day I woke up in San Francisco. I realized that of like the 5 pairs of pants that I owned, every single one was stained. And I think I had a nice dinner or something. And I was like, this is so embarrassing. So the next day I go and take every pair of pants that I own to the dry cleaner. I'm like, hey, whatever you can do, please just like get this stuff out. Like, it's a mix of jeans and like Lululemon pants. And so they dry clean all of it. They do get some stains out. And I had driven to the laundromat. I hang up the package like in my car, in the handle of my car. I had gone to Costco that day. All this shit's in my car. All of my pants plus Costco. I park my car outside. I'm bringing the Costco groceries in. I'm like, I'm going to grab those pants, I don't know, in like 2 hours once I unload this stuff. Forget to do it. The next day I go to my car. My car had been broken into and every single pair of pants that I owned had been stolen. Like, okay, this is just shitty, And a week later, someone calls me. They go, is this Kevin Baker? I found your pants on my car. I guess someone had stolen them out of my car, tried them on, and then dumped them like 2 blocks away on someone else's car. Ended up recovering the pants, but that's my San Francisco dry cleaning story.
That is wild. So you got all your pants back, or did he keep like 1 pair of Lulus for himself?
1 pair was like left in the rain and moldy, so I had to toss one, but the rest of them were recovered, and I'm wearing one of them right now. So it all comes back around.
You're wearing stolen pants, technically.
Yeah, that's right.
They got stolen. You stole them back. That's a great. I mean, getting your car broken into is never great, but at least there was a recovery story at the end. To a certain
The only shitty thing was that, I was like, man, my car auto locks though. That's so weird because there was no broken window or anything. I'm like, that's whack, but maybe I did leave it unlocked or there was a door open. But then it got broken into again like 2 weeks later again, and I knew that I had locked it, and I just looked it up, and I guess like people, I mean, obviously like robbers in San Francisco are using like AI SaaS to get into your car without needing to like break anything.
Yeah.
And I guess there was some like workaround for my RAV4 that people could just like get in with some like trans receiver or some shit.
That's crazy.
And so that was whack.
They used Salesforce to get into your
right.
Your Toyota. That's good.
Burglar agent.
When's the last time you were in a JC Penney, by the way? Never.
I thought they were bankrupt.
I did too. I saw this. I don't know why I found it funny, but I just did because I haven't been into a JC Penney in decades. I don't know if ever.
That's insane.
Dress codes only come in 3 genres: stay-at-home Mormon wife, high-ranking elder at a black church, Miami club owner that doesn't mind slapping someone. That does, but like when if JC Penney just doubled down on this theme, and it's like, listen, Mormon wives, black church elders, we got you. Miami club owners, we're here for you. That would be like a very viral campaign for them, and JC Penney in-store traffic would skyrocket.
Guess JC Penney's revenue from last year.
Oh man, like retail. This is tough. $120 million.
Bro, put some respect on JC Penney's name. 6.6 billion. Bro, they're not messing around.
That's wild.
Damn straight.
I mean, I was imagining that there were like 3 remaining stores. How many stores are remaining? Does it say?
640.
No way.
Let's guess how many Toys R Us's are there? Didn't
Isn't
they get
Toys R Us like fully bankrupt too?
I thought they got bailed out and they were going to start opening in airports. has returned with over
shops inside.
Wait.
Oh, interesting. Inside Macy's.
Wait. We're getting deep. Oh, it's like a mini part of it.
Yeah.
It's like a mini part of the Macy's. How do you feel about on laundry? I was talking to my friends about what up, Dennis? They need quick laundry in airports. So for those people who are responsible and show up to their flights like, a number of hours early or something, the last thing you want to do is go home with dirty clothes. I want to give someone, if they can get my laundry done in half an hour, which I know may be a big ask, I would totally pay for that.
Or I think that's super smart. Man, you're like on fire with the laundry ideas today.
That's right.
Laundry in airports, I've also never thought about, but it is genius. I do think I wonder why barbers are not in airports. Because if you're like waiting for a flight, why can't you get like a quick 20-minute haircut? Especially if you're like going on business or you're like flying to a friend's wedding and you're trying to like just show up a little bit clean. The laundry thing is interesting too, because like even just last week, I was trying to just travel with like a small carry-on because we were doing like 3 days in Santa Barbara, 3 days in Vegas, but we hit the Santa Barbara airport right on the way to Vegas. And I was like, I could have brought half the amount of clothes if I could have just taken my like 3 days of Santa Barbara clothes that were dirty in my bag, washed them in the airport, had them like repackaged into my bag, and then been on my way. Would have been like 50% fewer shit that I would have had to bring.
What about this? Laundry person on the plane, so that when your bags are checked, they will they'll get cleaned while you're on the plane. That way you're not wasting any time. You don't even need to show up early for the flight. I've gotten addicted preparing for my Albania and trans Europe trip.
This is true. This is risky.
What up, Dave? I was going to say, especially us white guys need about 2 weeks of fermentation for our haircuts to fully blossom. True. But I've gotten addicted to like ultralight. I'm becoming the worst guy in the world. First of all, I will refuse to say digital nomad at any cost. Like when people are like, oh, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to go to Europe. I'm just going to work over there. And they're like, oh, you're like a digital nomad? Oh my God. The worst term. But unfortunately, I've caught the mind virus. I'm getting all the ultralight stand, ultralight, portable keyboard. And I have no idea where I was going with that. I think I'm just excited.
I think it's possible that you just now like you're just gonna go from like Albania to Thailand to Montreal. You're just gonna be catching the different vibes in all these like digital nomad cities. Like if you follow like Peter Levels.io on X, shout out to him. He's always bouncing around living that digital nomad life. And how do you feel about this? Speaking of, because we're talking about this. So when you go to, you're going to Albania, is that right?
I start in Albania.
What's the vibe for like how you're going to travel? Because depending on the country, sometimes like if you take what you would be spending on rent here or on like a mortgage in America, like it goes so much further. But some countries are tricky where you're like, dude, why is like this random part of Albania like so expensive? Or like why is it so cheap? Is it a good place? Is it a bad place? Like, are you going to be is this like a hostel to hostel trip? Are you going to be doing hotel rooms, Airbnbs? Like, how are you going to travel?
This is going to be, so first, Albania is cheap as rocks. I got a nice, like 1 bed, 1 full bath apartment with a view for 5 days in Albania for like $214. So it's like a little over 40 a night, everything included. Keep in mind, any like major city is going to run you for a 1 bed, like probably $2,000. San Francisco, New York, obviously more. Seattle, around $2,000. Most places in Europe, you can travel in like Airbnbs for less than that. I'm going to switch off between cheap hostels, hopefully with a private room, because I need to meet folks, when I'm solo traveling.
Yeah.
And the reason I brought that up in the first place was because I'm like getting super into like the 1 bag solo travel. And it says to bring like 4 to 5 days of clothing. And mind you, I might be gone for 3 months, but still bringing like 4 to 5 pairs of clothing. One, because you don't need to wash it every day.
Right.
People don't recognize you. It's okay if you wear the same shirt 5 times. And then you like wash shit in like the sink. So I'm excited to do the minimalist, like Norway is super expensive.
Yeah. So our boy Peter said the irony is that traveling on under $1,000 a month is way more fun than over $10,000 a month. Luxury travel is extremely boring, comfortable, not challenging, sycophantic. Yes, sir. Travel on a shoestring budget, you get inventive, are forced to meet locals just to survive, get around, etc. Totally agree with this take, by the way.
Right. Yeah. You bring jack shit, you stay in cheap places, you meet folks, and you bool. They say the best things in life are free, you know? And also, not to glaze levels too hard, but can you click his profile picture?
Yeah.
Because I still believe that he has the greatest profile picture, especially in terms of expressing who he is and what he does. Like, everyone knows this is the ultimate position. If it's warm out and you're shirtless in just shorts and you're like working on your laptop like this, it's
you
ultimate.
just get that, like, if you do need to go in a color, you get that angle where it's just like he's got the chin tuck. It's great.
His bio is also hilarious. I wanted to do, and I still might do, a meme where I want to be a build-in public drug dealer and have cocaine, $10K a month, Adderall, $4K a month, you know, and show people how much I'm making off each.
Arms trafficking to the Sudanese government, $40,000 a month. The one thing that stands out here is he's making 12 grand a month on X payouts.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. That's about 3x what I make. I guess that makes sense. He has about 3x my follower count.
Photoai.com.
He's making $1.5 million a year off of this.
Dude, what is this? Upload selfies, create an AI model of yourself, or create 100% AI influencer you can monetize. Take AI photos with your AI model. Okay, hold on. This guy just made an OnlyFans bot. He said, take AI photos with your AI model in any pose, place, or action.
Yeah. How many of his other, we haven't reviewed his projects in a while. So he does the same thing with like interior design. Wow, that's crazy. It's like literally the same site just for interior design. So he's making another 40,000 a month from the interior design one. And then Remote OK is pretty legendary. It's like the busiest job board in the world, and he makes 40 grand a month from that. So wait, quick math is he's doing like 225,000 a month. Yeah.
That's insane. Man.
Maybe a little less, 220, 215.
I need to vibe code some app.
He's making 6 grand a month from this book, which is just a indie blueprint thing. Weird.
Get ready for my book. I literally see it in my head right now.
What is it?
Okay. This is we talked about being in office, being remote, and you know, while I'm traveling and working remote, this is one thing that I'm going to miss. Could you imagine pulling up to the office and just having a huge stack of paper that you have to get through? You're like, no, not right now. I have way too much on my desk. You have to like look through paper, stamp it, you know, periodically call someone on the landline.
So good. I do think about this a lot, like probably more than I should, of just, I think to a certain extent, what's happening is like with what we were just talking about, which is I don't do Zoom meetings. The world is just like returning to this era. It's a very slow process. It's going to start with people that have mostly bullshit internet jobs. But if you think about a process where like, all right, let's say that I'm like ghostwriting somebody's content. Just like you're going to call me on my like landline, and then I'm going to pick up my landline and I'm going to talk to you about some like content ideas. And I'm going to be like barking orders to my secretary as she's making like a gin martini in my office and she's like taking notes. and then we're going to just like fax those notes over to you, and you're going to like print them out and have your secretary type them into X or LinkedIn.
Right.
Like you could just do a lot of jobs like this today.
Well, I'm also convinced that if you just brand yourself like weirdly, or like brand yourself as like this quirky guy, that people will pay you a premium. Like if instead of, like you say, like getting on a Zoom call and typing you a draft and just emailing it to you, if you're like, no, 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 part of my creative process is like I need to be in a dark room and talk to you for exactly 14 minutes, and then I will mail you the drafts in 1 week. Like you can get away with being way more lazy if you just say it's part of your process or it like helps you, and people will believe it.
Right. This is like, I think nobody better defines this than our boy, the man, the myth, the legend,
Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
Where you don't have to do anything.
Like all of his famous photos are like him just laying on a couch, because in his, actually there was like a really good, one of my favorite documentaries ever. Let's find this. This is a banger of a documentary. Have you ever seen Funky Monks by the Red Hot Chili Peppers? It was a 1991 documentary about them releasing Blood Sugar Sex Magic, which I think was like the best-selling rock album of that year. But the reason that it's amazing is because I'm pretty sure the entire thing, if I remember correctly, was shot in black and white. And the band plus Rick Rubin just like produced the whole documentary. So it's sort of like their glimpse into how this like hit album is being made. And every time Rick Rubin's in it or being interviewed, he's just lying like down on this giant leather couch, and the camera's like awkwardly like hovering over him, because it's like this like 80s camera, I'm sure, that they're using, that's like massive and weighs 200 pounds. And he's just vibing. He's just like, they'll play a song and then he'll be like, you know, the guitar should be a little bit more like this Zeppelin song. And then he'll like stop everything for half an hour, and he'll make the entire band come in and like listen to some like specific Zeppelin song that he has in mind. And then they all just sort of go, yeah, that's it. Then they go back and they record it. And he never gets off the couch.
Nice.
If you see the whole process, it's incredible.
You just have to find someone who's like super talented and convince them that they should take your input, and then like they'll be convinced that you were the reason that their product was so good, even if you had like zero impact.
Right.
And if you want to simulate this, here's something else you can do. So this was a reasonably big launch, so almost 200,000 views. What if you could simulate your life before living it? We're launching FactSim, a realistic life simulator that learns about you, then models your behavior with agents who can test paths, run scenarios, and explore outcomes. They say it's like your life in sandbox mode. So you can see this lady getting yelled at, and she says, what if I quit my job? And then it simulates what her life would be like, life expectancy, net worth.
I mean, it's like a photorealistic version of The Sims.
Exactly. And it's talking about, okay, if you move in or adopt a dog, how is this going to affect you, or get married? But I'm actually...
All right. This, hold on. I gotta pull this up, because this is like this is like how every launch is in 2026. I have another launch that's exactly like this. So you go to their site, it looks nice. It's like, I kind of like this design. And you go, great, let's get started here. Oh, client side.
Client side exception. So it doesn't work.
It just doesn't work.
Nice. Well, I'm actually pissed about this, because I am aware that this is happening to me, and I'll pull this up as a visual, and I still can't do anything about it. I, with many other people, am a chronically over research, too much information. We're in the age of overthinking every decision. Okay. I got to shout out my boy Mark A here. Stop. You can't think about everything and just try to introspect and think super deep on like what you need to do. Like, for reference, for this Europe trip, I'm like, okay, I have Hoka's. Those are going to be my shoes. I need a pair of sandals. So I get into this sandal rabbit hole. First of all, it takes me 2 hours to even come to like the final two sandals. Then between the final two sandals, I'm looking up every Reddit thread, YouTube video, comparison. I'm asking 3 different AIs. Which one do you think I should get? Anywhere you go, you look at this sandal. One Reddit user says, nah, I didn't like them. The other sandal, one Reddit user says, nah, they gave me blisters. And you just kill yourself over, okay, I don't know what to do. Like paralysis. It would have been way easier if someone just said, oh yeah, I like these. Those are nice. Or if I like asked AI and I just bought the ones that AI told me to buy. And
what did you end up buying? They're going to be a new sponsor of the live stream.
New sponsor. Okay, check this out. I already know I'm getting a blister.
Oh boy.
Let's go. The Bedrock Cairn Evo Cs.
Oh man, the Bedrocks gave me foot cancer.
Yeah, no matter what you get. But we're in the age of
this is good advice from other Kevin. You gotta embrace the chaos.
I know. It's just like I couldn't imagine. The funny thing is, when I was picking a college, I put like 0 thought into it, and it was perfect because I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go here. And then it turned out to be great. I never thought about, oh no, what if I had gone to the other place? And then like whatever decision you make, it's kind of on you to not like second guess yourself constantly because it'd be easy to do that.
I mean, it's yeah, I do think that I think the point that was funny is like everybody's like, oh, like Mark does 7 podcasts a week about his own life, but he's like not introspective, which is like, okay, I guess by the nature of us doing this show, there's some like introspection because we're talking about things that have happened to us. We're like saying, you know, what would we do in this scenario? But yes, like the fact sim thing that doesn't even work is not going to meaningfully improve your life. And I actually think there's a take which I think is sort of related to this, which is that like there's a lot of incredibly well-read, well-researched people who accomplish absolutely nothing with their lives. And so this I think was originally a Tim Dillon rant where he was saying like, you know, all the people that go to these like really expensive liberal arts colleges and they're just like the meaning of having a degree is worth more than anything else in life. So it's like if you just graduate from, you know, Barnard or Yale or whatever, that's just going to like carry you through to life. But if you look at what a lot of these like, you know, comms majors or like lit majors or philosophy majors actually do, there's not a whole lot that you can like look back on and say, oh wow, that really like moved the needle for that person in terms of like contributing to the world or financially or really by any metric, because they're just like so ingrained in like the past and like reading about old shit that they never just like move forward. And so I do think there has to be some mix of both realistically, but most people would be better off probably just going. I will say, I think that it is worth being introspective about your path from time to time, because it would be very easy to get caught in like the worst like minimum wage job ever. And then be like, all right, I'm showing up at Dunkin' today and I'm going to make the donuts and I'm going to like make change for people. And then I'm going to go home. So I think you do have to be introspective, but by the definition of like, if you have some introspection, you're probably a little bit self-aware that like you could get a better job,
right?
Like, be a little bit more ambitious and so on.
So how do you prevent system paralysis in 2 ways? One, how would you recommend that people pick their major in school these days? And B, how do you go about like shoe shopping? And if your wife picks your shoes, then I'm going to come up with a different question.
I got these shoes, even though I'm very unhappy with them. I'm wearing them right now. It's just the rainbow sandals.
Oh, nice.
Right. Because like what you're doing is like travel sandals. What I have is like comfort sandals of like, oh, I'm going to go sit by the pool later.
Did you read reviews?
A very important job. No. Basically what happened was, this is actually how I pick most things. This is true. I was thinking about this the other day. I was being introspective about it. I use Old Spice deodorant because I think one day when I was like 7, I was at like my grandparents' house and I was like, oh, what is this? And I like had this like core memory of like my grandpa had Old Spice and I like didn't really know what deodorant was, but I just like opened it because I was like in his bathroom and I smelled it. I was like, that smells good. I like that.
What strain?
I go with like, sport. I go with like the OG. Those are probably the two that I go.
The blue gel or the white
blue
lotion?
Gel. Not white.
Yeah, dude, the white lotion is I accidentally got that one time. It literally ruined my
month. Like messes up all your shirts.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You got to go to the gel.
Yeah. I'm
Fiji. Yep. The occasionally they always do like the man scents that are hilarious. It's like Pirate Whisper by Old Spice. You're like, what does that even mean? Pirate Whisper. I'll throw a little Pirate Whisper on though from time to time. It's like I use Crest because I like their branding better than Colgate. It's all vibes, right? Like I think Rainbow Sandals, shout out to my cousin. He grew up in Southern California and would like always rock sandals. I was in Colorado. So it's like when I was like moving back out to California for college, it was like, oh, what sandals does he wear? Oh, he likes rainbows. Great. I'm going to buy rainbows forever.
Right. Yeah.
It's just all like, you just need like one trusted person in your life to like make the recommendation.
Right.
Like my wife has done this for all the people with like kids who are younger than ours. And I think all the moms and dads love it, which is just like, we bought every baby product so that you don't have to. Don't believe the reviews because they're all fake. Like this bassinet thing or this camera or this sound machine will not change your life for $120. Just buy like the $10 Amazon plug in the wall sound machine. It actually like works better.
Right.
So she has like her, but it's like you need like a trusted person to be like, oh dude, I went backpacking like in Europe or I went like hostel to hostel. Like these sandals, I put like 2,000 miles on them. They never broke.
Exactly. You need. Yeah, exactly. You can hardly trust Reddit anymore. It's paid for. These AI models are, maybe they can be trusted to an extent, but even then, not really. If there's one thing that people hate doing, the friends and family review platform, seriously,
is good. And we're getting we always have time. I think we've gone through like 5% of our bookmarks, but that's okay.
Listen,
we're just taking a slow life here.
Speaking of Old Spice, probably the greatest commercial to ever exist. You remember this one, right? They were like OG. Like I feel like Old Spice was kind of doing Liquid Death like stuff before. Because like no other deodorant is this goofy, right? Besides Axe, who had like the Axe spray, they had like girls chasing them. But man.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell like. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
Introducing 2 new scents from Old Spice.
I mean, come on.
Wait, this is insane. So wait, when did this come out? When was this video?
12 years ago.
12 years ago. Okay. Check this out. So I looked up head of marketing at Old Spice. I found a very weird result. And then I said, wait, I need to Google this. So around the same time, about 12 years ago, there was this Adweek thing that said, new Old Spice marketing chief is not human, but will eat humans. Selling deodorant is a blood sport. Okay. So then he's a wild animal, blah, blah, blah. So if you go on LinkedIn and you find the head of marketing at Old Spice, this is the profile that you get. This might be one of our greatest stories of all time. Mr. Wolfdog, Director of Marketing, Old Spice. Hello, I am Director Wolf Dog. I get my name from being a wolf who is also a dog and is now a director. Old Spice hired me to advertise their new wild collection of scents because I'm an expert on all things wild.
I totally believe this.
It's great. He has like hundreds of connections.
Of course,
he
he's
has
from
school
Cincinnati.
diplomas.
Dr. Wolf Dog. I mean, this has got to be part of the stunt.
Yeah, it's great.
Dr. Wolf Dog, Old
But if you
Spice.
just Google like who is the CMO of Old Spice, his LinkedIn profile comes up as the main thing.
What are some other commercials that were on like a similar level? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to Mr. Old Spice Wolf Dog forced out. He was forced to leave his position after 1 week. No, it's part of the stunt. But look at this. 63 million views on this commercial on YouTube. Like, how often are people rewatching TV commercials on YouTube?
Right.
And it's not going to load. I wonder if, no, it's not even monetized. 63 million years ago. Okay, and this says 16 years ago, so like 2010. Let's see, is this the most popular Old Spice video? 258 million views 10 months ago. Did they have a Super Bowl ad?
They must have.
Sweetie, you good?
Someone stole my.
My YouTube doesn't work. 10 months ago.
Hey, sweaty. Sweetie, you good?
Someone stole my Old Spice antiperspirant. Now I'm smelling like perspirant.
I did. Force 24/7 sweat protection.
You did this to my pits.
Okay, that's been view-botted by 8 million people in Indonesia.
Yep. I mean, the 1984 Apple commercial is like the legendary one, the dystopian future. You've seen this, I'm sure, right?
I don't know.
Let's see. $6.1 million views 14 years ago. Let's roll.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the information purification directives. We have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests of being contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
Whoa, that was creepy.
Weirdest Apple. So it was like talking, it was basically like a shot at HP and like all these companies that were like boring like work computers. And so, you know, they were using like the like literary story of 1984 as a reference there, obviously. But yeah, that commercial, I think if you look up like best commercials of all time, that one plus some of like the Budweiser ones, the Old Spice one always show up like top 5. Cultural impact, you know?
You know, what coffee shop has had the most cultural impact?
I mean, Starbucks.
John Kennedy, the funniest U.S. senator.
I'm not telling anybody what to do or not to do. I'm just pointing out the facts. A caramel macchiato has as much sugar as 12 Chips Ahoy cookies.
Oh,
Anyways, his speech goes on about how Americans ought to know what the heck is in their cup of coffee, because now
If
you
you
can
run
get
3 miles. the point that he made.
Anyways, it's funny that like this is what the senators are talking about, but it is true. You don't really think about it. You don't see the ingredients on your coffee at all,
Right.
and now you can get blended cake pop in a cup,
Right.
maximum size.
That's why you got to go OG, just black cold brew, nothing in it. I don't even know what's in the black cold brew. They could be pumping diabetes in there for all I care, but it tastes good. That feels like I occasionally have that thought, but it also feels like the most boomer take ever to be like, I go to Starbucks and sometimes I'm like, man, all these green and pink drinks up here. Like, what are the kids drinking? Because it's like when I was 16 and started going to Starbucks, I would get like all the frappuccinos with all because
Right.
your metabolism is just crazy. And like, it doesn't matter that you're drinking 860 calories twice a day, it's just going to burn off. And then as you get older, you have to slightly pay attention to these things.
Right. Okay. Is this cope by the mainstream or is this real? Because I've seen this plenty of times now. There's like 8 of the same meme that don't load, but it's always the same take. 9 to 5 with a high salary is better than owning your own business. I wonder how many of these people are people working in 9 to 5 with a high salary, or if business owners agree. What do you think?
I don't know. I think I would argue that, well, I mean, of course, this is a dumb take because both of these things are in relative terms, right? So it's like, yes, I think I would agree that if you are trying to compare a top lawyer who's making $25 million a year but is like a partner and like maybe doesn't have to work all that hard because you just have like an army of associates. Yes, making $25 million a year as a partner in a law firm is better than running a bakery where you have to be up at 4 a.m. to start the bread and then you're only, netting $30,000 a year. So that is a correct take.
Right.
But I think like the question is like apples to apples. If you could make whatever it is, $50,000 a year, $150,000 a year, $1.5 million a year, whatever it is, with a high salary from a 9 to 5, is that better than making 50, 150,000, 1.5 million as a founder where that is what you are netting at the end of the day? It's all about net take home. There are like plenty of founders who are venture backed that run, $50 million companies and still pay themselves $120,000 a year. The hope is that you land that plane and you get a big payday. Doesn't always work. So yeah, I mean, for a short period of time, it's probably like looks better to be the guy like KPMG who's making $300,000 a year while your friend's paying himself $80,000 a year as a startup founder. But this is mostly a dumb take because controlling your own destiny is way better than
what if
reporting to people.
But when you're at the 9 to 5, I like this. When your boss says we'll get it done somehow and you realize that you're the somehow.
Yeah.
And there's been many of times, especially my first corporate job, where this totally happened.
It's fair.
Oh, work memes, the opiates of the masses.
The opiates of the masses. This was another one. This is another launch that I think went fake viral. I don't know. Did you see this thing? Okara? Okay, I have a few thoughts here.
Dang, 12 million views.
12 million views, 26,000 likes. So that view count relative to the likes is like way off, I think. I'm going to send this clip to Nikita afterwards and he can go investigate.
Yeah.
A couple things here. The world's first AI CMO. This is the 7th AI CMO this is the 7th world's first AI CMO that has launched in the last week. These guys had the problem of the other company. I think they may have fixed it, but like where you click on the thing and yeah, they basically, it just like goes like this like off screen where you like have to continue with Google, which is kind of creepy, whatever. It wasn't working last night and a bunch of people were complaining about it. The comments on this were like really weird where Let me pull it back up.
By the way, it would be way better if they said this is the world's 7th AI CMO.
Totally.
And we're honest about it.
Totally. That was pretty bad. Looks polished, but it hallucinates links that do not exist.
We'll fix it ASAP.
So all of these comments were like super positive. It was like, your new CMO that doesn't take coffee breaks, automatic traffic and users. That's impressive. Let's go. Like, I think this has to be like a giant bot network, but they're all verified.
Right.
Because then when it would get to people that like, wow, you guys are on fire. I'll give it a shot. Congrats, guys. Definitely an ambitious concept. Checked it out. Looks good. Blah, 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 blah. You like go down to the people that you actually know, like Jason Lemkin, and it's like they're all getting like error messages.
AI CMO. I'm good on that.
Yeah.
Because listen. I'm 25. I'm still green in this industry. There's a lot of vets out there, but I'm part of this new age. Listen, marketing, got to stop. B2B is a little different, but this is like thinking will do you literally zero good in marketing. Trying to think in your head super hard. Okay, how can we get the backlinks and SEO and do this? Bro, you literally need to go viral on social media by being stupid. That's like the only way to get any traction these days. And it's people throwing cow poop at each other is like the social media landscape, especially for consumer. It's like anything at any cost, essentially, without going to like Cluely lengths.
Right.
I mean, Cluely kind of paved the way. But
they did. And I think it'll be interesting to see how that strategy long-term pans out, because a lot of founders pivoted to that strategy without being Cluely. Like Cluely works because Roy is like a very smart and charismatic front
and his story,
his strategy, right?
His story of getting, getting forced out of Columbia.
Yeah.
Because he was cheating.
So if you want to shit post on the internet, you got to go to usenapa.com, the leading way to shit post on the internet. If you want to build an SEO strategy that actually works, it's not going to happen with an AI CMO. It's going to happen from hireoverseas.com.
Right. Hire Overseas is super interesting because there's actually been great attribution from the show. I talked to my friend. He talked to Hire Overseas about getting some clippers. Like, we use their clippers all the time. Amazing. They run our channels, not only clipping, but also like op support, running the channels, uploading, managing the schedule, making sure stuff is going out on time. It's like such a huge load off our plate. They vetted. Hire Overseas is like Costco. Like, you just show up and you say, I want nuts. And Costco's like, well, we have like one thing of 6-pound nuts and it's super good. And you don't need to spend time sifting through all these terrible nut companies and cheap and overseas. And the thing about Hire Overseas is that a lot of people go to Athena. Okay, Athena, you may have heard of them.
Don't like them.
Can't stand those guys. They're charging, let's say if Athena finds someone for like $1,000 a month, they'll charge you $3,200. So their margins are like $2,200 on top of whoever you're hiring. Total BS. You're pretty much getting scammed. Hire Overseas, dodge that. All right. Don't pay them. You'll get a better employee from hireoverseas.com. If you need cold callers, SEO people, ghostwriters, I'd probably go, listen, sorry, Hire Overseas. I'd go Napa if you want a ghostwriter, because they're like, that's what they do, specialize. If you want like social ops support, I'd say Hire Overseas. Any EA type of person. Whatever operations you have in your job or business, you should not be wasting your time on them, especially if you're running the show. Go to hireoverseas.com. AI companies, car dealerships, they've staffed everywhere. Use napa.com. It's funny that people... Oh, actually, this is something I wanted to talk about, and it's a great lead-in. There is a new personality trait emerging, and it is at the intersection of self-awareness and AI. And it's how self-aware of you at your own AI slop. Because there's this thing where people are quick to call out, bro, that slop. And then they will post the most slop thing on their LinkedIn, but they're convinced that no one else will think it's slop.
Right.
I think because it's like biased because they're posting it and they think that they're like flying under the radar. But it's funny to see like these extremely smart, talented people posting clearly slop, and they just don't realize it. So that's the new personality trait. You need to make sure you're getting as far away from that as you possibly can. Use Napa, real writers, actual good content. They have case studies to show anything from defense to B2B SaaS, whatever business you're in.
Boats, cleaning companies at one point.
That was epic. That
we do it all.
Yeah. And so go check out, let me pull up these sites. First of all, usenapa.com. If you're a founder, if you're a business, if you're someone on the growth team, if you're a marketer, you want funny stuff, you want serious stuff, just take it off your plate. No one wants to waste their time writing content. So don't do it. Hire overseas. Literally whatever you need. I want you to remember this. Okay. I'm about to hypnotize you guys right now.
What do we got?
The next time that you think, man, this part of my job sucks. You know, this is like, why do I have to keep checking this website every week and copying and pasting the numbers into this spreadsheet? I don't want to spend my life doing this. It feels like I'm wasting my time. Couldn't someone else do this? Yes, someone can. Okay. Or, oh my God, I'm so anxious. I have too much on my plate. I don't want to figure out how to do SEO. I don't have time for this. I just want someone else to do it. Okay. Hireoverseas.com. The next time you get anxious, think hireoverseas.com and then go to this website, hireoverseas.com, schedule a call, talk to the boys, Philip and Harlan. They will get you hooked up with literally whoever you need to talk to. You see these customer logos. These are trusted brands that trust Hire Overseas, which brings me perfectly into my next point. See, these are all legit. I saw this tweet. I thought it was funny.
That was good.
Deceptive logo walls. This is so true. I love like the logo walls are essentially now at the point of like resumes where it's like if you volunteered to pick up trash outside of a Radio Shack, you could put like trusted by Radio Shack on your logo wall, which probably wouldn't do you much good, but like whatever connection, if your uncle works there and it's like bring your nephew to the office day, you can say that you've like worked with that office. So I love it. Lie. Everyone lie as much as you can.
The loved by users of is so good because it's like when I first saw this tweet, I was like, yeah, everybody kind of does this because it's like loved by the teams of, and it's like an intern at Claude will sign up or like, you know, a former guy with a Ramp email will sign up. It's like a nobody. And it's like, oh, like we have like a user at Ramp. It's like, no, you don't. But loved by users of is amazing because like you could just go through, like if you're using my product, I'll be like, oh, dude, do you ever, oh, you drive a car? Toyota, that's a logo. Oh, you have an American Express Amex logo. Oh, you have a Visa too? Visa logo. Like you sleep in a bed, Serta.
Right. Well, I was giving my friend advice and I caught myself giving this advice out and I'm like, should I be saying this? Like, I don't know. But he was like, dude, like Claude is sick. I just had Claude redo my resume for this job. It's epic. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's awesome. But what you should do is if you have a list of jobs or have Claude find you relevant jobs and then don't just have one resume. You know, people do this sometimes, but I told him, set up something, I'll help you set it up, where Claude will automatically change your resume based on whatever the job you're applying for. It'll read what they want and literally change your resume to cater to that exact job.
Yeah.
Which is funny because now everyone's doing that. So it's like this fake manufactured compatibility. Like everyone is perfectly equipped for this job, you know, perfectly compatible. And so all authenticity is out the window. And I was thinking, people are going to do this for dating apps. Okay, imagine if people treated their dating app profile like a resume, where it's like, if there's a girl profile that's like, I'm super into chess and hiking, then I automatically change my profile. I love chess and hiking. Or there's another girl, I love rock music and kayaking. I love rock music and kayaking. It's like this manufactured compatibility now. Everyone wants to be compatible with everyone and every company. And it's just, it's a wash.
Totally. Yeah, it's I think that used to be. I mean, I think it's still good advice because it just like slop all the way down where it's like, oh, the employer creates the job description using AI, and then people apply to the job using their AI resumes and cover letters, and then the company uses AI to sort which AI generated cover letters and resumes best fit their AI generated. Like you gotta get a job by just like walking into a pizza place and going, hi, I want to deliver pizzas. That's the only way to get a
Right.
job in 2026.
We need to bring back in-person interviews.
We do.
You need to walk into the Cursor office, ask to see the CEO and hand him a printout.
Right. I was working at an office one day at a startup, and we had like pretty good security, I thought. But one day, this dude in a suit literally just did walk in, and he like went to our admin at the front and was like, I want to like apply to a job. And she's like, oh yeah, like go talk to Chris over there. I was like, like, no, don't. We had a conversation about what happens if a strange man in a suit ever comes to the office and says, hi, I want a job.
Right.
Email talent at company name.
Right.
So when you were on Orcus, did you ever like call restaurants and do like pickup, or was that not really a thing?
I did it at a pizza place. I would call and
Okay.
pick up pizza from the parlor.
Yeah, the pizza parlor.
Yeah.
Did this happen? How true is this? Because this is very true in Minnesota. I don't know what it's like out west here, because I think we usually do like DoorDash. But if you order small town pizza, it'll ring. Hi, I'd like to order a couple pizzas for pickup. Yeah, could I have a large cheese, large pepperoni? Give me 20 minutes, and they hang up. That is true.
Yep.
And then you just show up and you go, hey, I'm the guy who ordered the large cheese, large pepperoni. And sometimes they might give you somebody else's order, but usually they get it right.
This was absolutely the case.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And half the time I couldn't even understand them. But I knew that if I pulled up in 15 minutes that it would be ready for me. And it was dirt cheap. What's one thing that you think that people maybe either save too much money on chronically or spend too much money on chronically? Like, do you in your life have anything where you're like, I will die on this hill that you should always spend more on blank?
Oof.
Plane seats, garbage bags, pens, cars.
I mean, my go-to, actually what I was thinking of is like not a hill that I would die on, but plane seats is up there for me. I think within reason, because
you're also 8 feet tall.
Right. Yeah, I'm 8'3", so it's different. Even when I had like not a ton of money and I was traveling anywhere, I would always look at like what first class was, though.
Well,
that was always just a big splurge that like felt worth it. I think that
my flight to Albania was like, I think $700 one way, and I'm in like, I think I had to pay $50 to pick my seat. Oh, actually, let me ask you this if I haven't yet.
Yeah.
International flight goes to Munich first. I think it's like 12 hours on the first leg.
Okay.
It's a 3 rows of 3 plane. Okay. So there's 3 on this window, 3 in the middle, 3 on the right. What seat are you taking? There's 9 possible choices.
You always go. I would do like seat C. So you're on the aisle. If you're on basically like the first edge of the aisle, right shoulder to the cart that's going to be smacking me in the right shoulder the whole time.
Let me ask, why are you not taking one of the aisles of the middle section?
It's kind of vibes based. I feel uncomfortable.
Because I went back and forth again. I couldn't make a decision. I was asking people, I was asking AI, And at first I was on the window seat and I thought, okay, no, this is not going to work. My legs are going to get sore. I like to stand up and walk around. And then I thought, okay, aisle seats. Well, there's still 4 choices of aisle seats that I can choose. There's C, D, F, or G. And I ended up going F, the aisle seat of the middle row, because I thought, okay, well, now the person in the middle has 2 opportunities to get up. If I'm sleeping, maybe they could wake the other person next to them up. But it is a terrible vibe. I mean, sitting in the middle of the plane is kind of ass.
That's a great, that's where it's helpful to be introspective, because I wouldn't have like quickly put that together on like, oh yeah, you have 2 outs. I also think, again, totally vibes based. I think if you're booking middle seats, I just think nobody likes the middle of the plane. So if you were sort of on the edge of like, do I want to be on the aisle middle? I think if you're booking those last second middle seats, you're like, I want to be in like B or whatever it is, H or whatever, right? I don't want to be in like A, B, C, D. I don't want to be in E.
Right. E is the worst possible. I'm also really hoping
a 17% higher likelihood of having no middle seat, and then it's a huge come up.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on right before the plane, or maybe walk up to the gate and be like, is there anywhere that doesn't have someone next to them? I will Venmo you. Like, I don't care what the policy is.
Do they have premium economy on this flight?
They do. So premium economy was like, I think $500 more, and then first class was like $2,000 more. And so first class was out of the picture, because I'm like, dude, that's like a month living in Europe.
Right.
It's like not that worth it. Business class, I was like, I don't think I've ever booked like premium class seat, because it's like more leg room and like maybe slightly wider seats, but it feels like I'm upgrading to like a large Big Mac meal versus a medium, and it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it really worth it? It's going to be miserable no matter what.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things where the difference is like pretty minor, and I feel like it's always worth getting, like, if you could get like high quality cup of coffee versus like watered down garbage, if you're into coffee, always worth it. Like, I think you never want to get like the cheapest bottle of wine, even if you're not really into wine. It's going to be filled with like arsenic or something. You got to get like the 3rd cheapest bottle of wine, and you're going to be fine, right?
Right.
Like, stuff like that. It's like, it's $1. Like, it's like you go to, I'm like, I don't even understand how these like discount coffee brands are even in business, because I get there's like a budget and people have to stick to it, but it's like, you're like $2 away from great coffee in like a bag of coffee, and you're going to like grind these beans up or whatever. Planes,
Right.
I totally get it. Where like, it makes no sense. Like, sometimes when I would be flying to Austin a lot for work, the flights from like SFO to Austin, sometimes it was like, I think that's a 3.5-hour flight, and to jump into first class on a domestic flight, sometimes it was like $1,700 more for a 3.5-hour flight, and then sometimes it would be like $40 and you're in front. It was like, so the variance was so massive, where I just had this like internal threshold of just like, all right, if it's like a couple $100 or less, I'm just going to do it every time.
Right.
1,700, I'll just like slowly die in the back of 33C and just cry a little bit. That's fine.
The reason that I brought that up is because I saw this on my timeline. Peter Lynch. Okay, so this is a big dog, high roller. Hold on, let me do this. And he talks about some psychology of money stuff. Okay, so people are very careful. They'll spend hours to get $50 off a plane flight. They'll look at everything, and then they'll put $10,000 into some crazy stock they heard about on the bus. I thought it was an interesting concept, because it's especially true in your 20s. Once you start to get some bigger adult money, like you have a salary, you're working somewhere, you can pay your rent, and you have leftover money. It's funny how, like, you'll go out and you'll some nights you'll spend like $100-something out on the town with Ubers and buying people drinks, and you get food and like you'll end up spending $100 to $120. But then it comes down to like buy a backpack that you're going to use every day for 4 years going to and from work, and you'll see like 75 or like 120, and you're like, oh, like you're so tempted to do the cheaper option of something that you'll actually use. So I don't know what the psychology behind that is, but
I always think the psychology, what bugs me, and I think this is a fair point. The thing that bugs me is when people don't, like, when they have zero relation of the value of their own time. Like, I had a tweet years ago that was like, it's funny, right after Christmas, you'll like watch these guys pull up in like $200,000 Mercedes into the Costco parking lot. Like they're parking their like GL class or whatever. And they're getting out and they're standing there to like return like a pair of socks that they got for Christmas that they don't like. It's like,
Right.
bro, just that's donation. But that's just how I hate. I don't think I've ever, rich or poor, I don't think I've ever returned anything in my life.
What? That's not even Amazon.
I mean, to like Amazon, sure. Honestly, even like I always like, when I was like 21, I would even just still like value my own time so artificially high, where I was like, I mean, for sure, like when I had like very little money, there were times where I would go buy like $130 pair of jeans from Nordstrom, and then I'd get them home and be like, they fit weird, or like I just didn't want to try them on because, again, always valued my time like way too high. And then I'd be like, I guess I'm just gonna like donate these jeans. Like I'm not fucking driving back to Nordstrom to return these things.
Returning stuff is terrible.
Yeah.
And my dad still brings this tweet of yours up, which is totally true.
Yeah.
You look for people in supercars standing in the Costco line, which is always brutal, to return a $9 item. These people, you don't want to hang out with them probably, but you do want to mirror their decisions with money. I love one of my favorite things in life is getting something from the thrift shop for like $4 and then 2 days later being like, actually, I don't want this, and just giving it back to the same thrift shop. It feels like you're like renting some clothing.
Right.
I always thought it would be fun to I don't know, raw dog. It's a way to raw dog life. If you just like don't have clothes and you go to the thrift shop, you like buy clothes for like 3 days, then return them and get some new clothes from there and just continue the cycle.
I've always wanted, we talked about a version of this. Like I've always wanted to do this because I actually think it would be such a good story and it probably wouldn't be that expensive. I've had like friends that have done this to like a bachelor party in Vegas, like where it's like hangover style. Like you go on the plane in suits, you bring no luggage, anything else you need or want for the trip, you're just gonna like buy as you go, and then you're gonna like leave it all behind and like come back with no luggage.
Yeah.
Kind of a hilarious way to travel. And I'm sure like in Vegas, I couldn't imagine doing that just because like everything's so overpriced. It's all spread out, whatever. I guess if you're there for a day, it's like whatever, you're buying like a t-shirt. In like certain countries, I know of people that sort of do the 50% version of this. Like I have friends that have really good like tailors in like Korea or Thailand or wherever. They'll fly to Korea with no luggage. They'll buy a bunch of like super high quality Korean clothes, like wear them on the trip, and then come home with like all these like tailored like pants and like suits and stuff like that for work.
Nice.
So
yeah, raw dogging is that's the move. One piece of advice that I saw a couple times in the travel Reddit is that you bring like clothes that you don't care about, and then you just leave them, you just donate them in Europe on your way back, which makes some sense if you like acquire more stuff, but also it's like, I don't know, maybe I'll just.
Do you understand this? Like, have you seen these? I think we've talked about them. Like the really high end YouTube, and I'm sure they're on like TikTok too. Like the like Gen Z thrifter kids that have like driven the price of like old Metallica shirts up to like $600 a pop. It's insane.
Yeah, I feel bad because I did go through a phase of this in college where I would like go to the like Goodwill bins, which is, I think it's where stuff goes before it gets distributed to like these individual stores.
Yeah.
They literally wheel it in bins. They're not washed. There's like broken glass and poop like in here, and nothing is organized. And then sometimes you'll find like something, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I can resell this for like $8 more. And then I just thought about like, man, what am I doing? Like, I don't need any more clothes. I don't want to like sell these clothes. Other people like would actually wear this shit. And so I bailed out. But you're cooked when you walk into like middle of nowhere Cincinnati Goodwill, and then there's someone with 3 hoop earrings and like a chain hanging out of their pocket. And they have, a cart full of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that person's going to flip everything on their Depop or Instagram channel, their whatnot channel for like $17,000 the next day.
I saw this strat. Someone was like, this is the greatest flipping strategy. And they would go into a thrift shop and take pictures of everything that was on like hanging up and list them on like eBay and stuff. Like just taking pictures of everything in the store. And then if someone would buy it, then they'd go back and buy it if it was still in stock.
What did they? I guess if you buy it and it's out of stock, then you just don't.
You just cancel
like refund.
Yeah, but you're drop shipping from thrift shops.
That's so funny.
It's so cooked.
That's amazing. That feels like a thing that like Gary Vaynerchuk would earnestly give you advice to do. my man, just go into the store, take pictures of everything, just put it all on eBay, whatever sells.
Okay, so listen, prediction markets obviously they've gone crazy. Prediction market, you can't talk about it anymore. Don't take us down. I had to pull up this though, because this is also the timeline. Will Clavicular be Iran's next supreme leader by March 31st? This is a real market with almost $800,000 on it. Do you know who this is?
So the vault. I mean, with 800,000. Let's see.
You can buy yes for 0.2 cents.
Right. I'm trying to figure out like how much, because like what you want to do is go like your lifetime earnings into buy now on this, right? So, but if you did that, the problem is with 800,000 in volume. Let's see. Times. Basically, so that means somebody that staked no for $800. So there's $800 total to be won here by being right, essentially. Like if you wager $800,000 and you are right, and the payout is like you're getting that like 0.2% edge, and then whatever the prediction market is going to keep their spread. Like you're wagering like $1 million to make 800. Which feels like a lot, because now you have $1 million tied up. This is what I don't understand. We need to get somebody from Kalshi on the stream. They'll be our second ever guest after Nate from Sam from New World. I don't understand. Like, so if you are betting no on the clavicular thing, they must have like an end date, right? That everything gets paid out by. Is that right? On every single bet, they have an end date.
Yep.
Okay. So you're actually, it's not bad. You're locking up $1 million to guarantee make 800 for a little under 2 weeks at this point. That's not bad.
This market will resolve to yes if Clavicular is officially named as the next supreme leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran by March 31st, 11:59 p.m. Otherwise, it'll resolve to no. Okay.
Clearly will happen.
Holders. I want to see who's holding it. Oh, can't see. Wow. This guy bought 18,000 shares. What's 20,000 times 0.2 cents? $400 or something?
Yeah, I think so.
That is insane. This guy, 140,000 shares of no at pretty much $1. So this guy has almost
right. He's got over
$100,000.
But he's locking up 140 grand to make like $40.
I mean, this guy has the locks. He has $250,000 in Jesus Christ not returning before 2027. Wow. He has $140,000 in clavicular not getting, and then it's just sports betting. and esports.
That's crazy.
But damn,
his biggest wait, so he's up $1 million?
he's up $1 million. And in the past month, he's up $260,000. Oh, in the past week, he's down $76,000.
That must be the degenerate sports betting. I mean, this is the problem with like people that have these strategies is like he's getting all these guaranteed locks and then he's betting on like women's lacrosse and winning 70 grand.
I mean, look how many bets he has on this one game. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yep. That's that.
That is that. Anything else? I have a bunch of bookmarks, but I can save them till next stream.
Give me some good ones.
Here's a good one. I'll hit you with two real quick. We'll rapid fire a couple. This is how we should end. We should just rapid fire.
Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about the things that it is worth it to spend money on. I saw this literally during the stream as I was looking for some ideas. There is a company where you can pay them $3.9 million and they will fly you private to every F1 race on the calendar. This has to be the like dumbest deal I've ever seen. There's 24 F1 races. And you basically could just like travel the world full time, staying in these like 5-star. I mean, to spend $4 million per person, like nobody's going to do this by themselves. I mean, first of all, just nobody's going to do this.
Right.
Like you could take somebody with the most like degenerate money. I thought it was interesting. Like Logan Paul was talking about his net worth or whatever. It's like $40 million. It's like, sure, it's a lot, but it's like exited founder territory. He's not going to go spend $8 million of his 40 million on this. So like you need like some like Steve will do it, Logan Paul, Jake Paul type person to go do this. None of them are going to do it. I don't think billionaires.
And if you have enough money to spend $4 million, you have enough money to have your own jet and host your boys.
Yeah, you could go buy like a pretty decent used plane and then own it at the end of the 4 million. And also, if you have a private jet or you're a billionaire, like Jeff Bezos is not going to spend the next year just like hopping between F1 races. He's going to hit one.
Right.
Elon will probably hit one.
Does this company do anything else, or is this like their only offering?
I think they do a bunch of like F1 related.
Formula Escapes.
Let's see, the premium F1 travel provider. I think that what they mostly do, which makes sense, is the like they do stuff like this, which is there's a race coming up in Japan, and so you get like a 7 to 9 night tour for $5,600. Great.
Yeah.
Like if you're super into F1 and you have the money, this seems like a totally no-brainer thing. So I guess I'm giving them free publicity because this is probably just like a stunt that has gone viral.
Yeah.
But good visibility for them.
All right. Let's go back and forth. Rapid fire. Here we go. Naval, great book. We're cooked. Coding an app is the new starting a podcast. Yikes.
Who is this in the comments? We're going to pretend like podcasting isn't way harder. Good for them. Let's give them some love.
This account's going crazy. All right. Yep. Starting a podcast. And it feels terrible because I just coded that Thought Slop app. So I'm just getting beat to shit.
All right. So what do you think when you think of a salad, right? You think of, what comes to mind? Like, what are some ingredients that you would put into a salad?
Green, lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, maybe cucumber, croutons, chickpeas, possibly.
Okay.
Dressing.
Okay. So lettuce, it's a plant or it grows as part of a plant. You have tomato that grows on a vine that's plant-based, your chickpeas. So if you think about it, right, flour comes from a plant, sugar comes from a plant, chocolate comes from
What
a
does
plant.
flour come from?
So does that make a cookie a salad?
Oh, this looks so good.
It looks so good. I could just watch. I think of the 1.1 million views, I'm like 50,000 of them. I just was watching this on repeat the other day.
I love Factories.
Factories are the best.
Don't you ever? Sometimes you get sick of your corporate job and you wish you were just smashing a hammer onto an anvil every day and then going home covered in soot. All right. Well, we have to talk about Timmy C at the Oscars. I don't even have a good X post for this, but Timmy C is getting clowned on. He's remaining based. Did you see why he got canceled?
No.
Okay. So this is good because I thought I had watched the wrong clip.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. Let me pull this up. So there was all this controversy I saw yesterday, like, oh, Timmy got all of his like votes revoked because of that like brutal clip. Okay, hold on. Anytime you want to find something specifically, it just doesn't work. So he was in an interview with Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to buy time. Well, it's impossible to find this thing. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. So, nope, that's not it. Okay, you pull something up while I find this.
Okay. This is going to be the most opposite thing from what you're about to pull up, which is good. That's why this is called Raised and Confused. Okay. This was fascinating. The KKR's co-CEO, which is a dumb title, said the largest 100 companies in the United States have seen their margins expand materially in the last 5 years from 14% to 19%. The next 1,400 companies have had their margins flat and are working to stay even. Basically, and we've talked about this before, like there are actually only so many great companies, and the great companies just continue getting greater and greater and greater, and everybody else is like left on the sidelines. This is like, I think, Google, great company because of YouTube and because of a lot of other things, because of Waymo, because of Google Maps, and so like your Google Enterprise subscription could just go up indefinitely, and it probably will, and you'll just keep paying it because the alternative is you have to use Microsoft Outlook.
Right.
And like your YouTube Premium or your Netflix or your Hulu, like pick whatever 2 or 3 that you actually use. Those have gone up from like $9 a month to like $29 a month. And everybody bitches about it, but also nobody's going to do anything because it's like you have like these 6 great providers that just keep expanding margins, growing, getting more content, getting more margin. And then, if you're JC Penney, you're stuck. Like
right.
There's no leverage that you have. Like companies either have leverage or they don't. And that's why my investment thesis is just buy lots of stock in all the already big companies because they will be bigger, way bigger 10 years from now than like the small companies that people are betting on to catch up to them.
I like that. That's why you just buy the NASDAQ or, I mean, maybe the S&P. Okay, here it is. So this is what Timothy Chalamet brutally, and when people say theater kids are soft, this is exactly what they mean. So this is where all the backlash is coming from. Okay, so you tell me how offensive this is.
I want to speak for people that are here that are younger than me, where people are desiring things that are more patient and that pull you in. I just saw another article that says Gen Z is a bigger movie-going audience than the millennial audience, I feel like a fucking grandpa saying that. And, no, but point being, I think even like Frankenstein, which is like a hugely popular movie this year, I didn't think that pacing was extraordinarily fast or anything, but it pulled people in, But it does take you having to wave a flag of, hey, this is a serious movie or something. And some people want to be entertained and quickly. I'm really right in the middle, Matthew, because I admire people, and I've done it myself, to go on a talk show and go, hey, we got to keep movie theaters alive. We got to keep this genre alive. And another part of me feels like if people want to see it, like Barbie, like Oppenheimer, they're going to go see it and go out of their way to be loud and proud about it. And I don't want to be working in ballet or opera or, things where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about this anymore. all respect to the ballet and opera people out there. I just lost 14 cents in viewership, but damn, I just took shots for no reason.
That's not a shot. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. So.
Sorry.
Okay, so that,
In ballet or opera.
that was the part that got him canceled. He said, "I don't want to work in ballet or opera," and then he immediately knows that he's screwed, and Matthew is trying to like play it off.
Working in ballet or opera or things.
He's like, "No, don't do it."
Where it's like, hey, keep this thing alive, even though no one cares about it.
And he literally knows he's so screwed that he makes that random sound at the end, and he's like, "Ah!"
I just took shots for no reason.
That's not a shot. I hear what you're saying. Yeah. So.
little opera noise. It's funny how he made fun of them and then realized he shouldn't have done it, and then doubles down and says, "I just lost 14 cents in like viewership because of that." So good. And then he goes, whatever,
Timothy Chalamet canceled. Besides getting massively canceled, they didn't cancel ballet. They sabotaged his chances. Dragged by opera and ballet. So I thought that was hilarious.
I mean, he has a point, right? I mean, these are things that were much larger, presumably at one point.
Right.
All right, let's call it. Unless you got anything else pressing, I gotta go watch more Timothy Chalamet clips.
That's it for me. I always have to pee so bad by the end of these.
Yeah. What else?
We may have
hireoverseas.com, numeral.com. Friends of the show. We're friends of them.
We may have an emergency. Well, we can do a there might be an in-person collab coming up soon, guys, involving tobacco. So we might put together a little clip.
We'll have a show sponsored by Big Tobacco. Camel. We'll be wearing Camel NASCAR jackets from the 1990s. We'll see.
Joe Camel.
All righty. Until next time. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you.